Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Business. As always, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you again to the ladies of ePower who gave us tips on ERC last week. Please, business owners, if you have not applied for ERC, let them or your CPA or a different company at least determine if you're eligible, so at least you can take advantage of that program. We have another great show tonight. It is the last of our series on resources for small business. Before we bring in our guests, of course, let's talk about something else. One of our biggest issues that we are having today in the business world is the lack of workforce. Big companies, medium-sized, small, micro, everyone has issues with workforce. To make it worse, there are some cases where, and they don't mean to, but big companies take away from micro businesses. So to give you an example, when Resort World opened here, of course they needed to hire. And of course a lot of people want to work for a big company like Resort World. So they went, and so it left some of our smaller businesses here really hurting for workforce. Same thing in the north with Tesla. When Tesla came in, a lot of the workforce went to Tesla, and that kind of made it harder for small businesses to be able to hire. So if you're a small business, you've hired good people, what are some of the things that you can do to keep your employees? Let's talk about that. So of course, it would be nice if you can offer traditional benefits, right? Same benefits that bigger companies offer, such as 401k programs, healthcare. But it could be very expensive if you're a small or micro business owner. So maybe one of the things that you can look for is look for chambers or organizations that offer healthcare or offer 401k benefits that you can join. And then since there's going to be a lot of you, the discount's bigger, and then you could actually manage it. So that's definitely one. All right. Now, what are some others? How about offering non-traditional benefits? So for example, what are non-traditional benefits? How about flexible work hours? Take a look at that. Or how about, a lot of people have issues with babysitting, for example, issues with a lot of school. So maybe if we allow them and work with their schedule, that would entice them to stay. When my first job, I was a manager for a retail company called Sunglass Hut. And I was able to have 4 years straight of no turnover. And people were so amazed, from that company. What did you do, Sonny? How did you keep your turnover low? Because retail is normally high turnover. I looked for great people, for example, for college students. And I told them, as long as the work is done, sales are great, you can study, and I'll work with your schedule. And they never left. It's amazing. So 2 years, and then they recruited their younger siblings to work the other 2 years until all of them were finished college. So it worked out that way. How about remote work from home? So, if you're in office that you don't have to be there necessarily at the location, allow them to work from home. Calls now forwards to your cell phone, right? With the electronics now, with Zoom, with all this, it makes it easier for you to work at home. So that's another one. Of course, you can do incentives or bonuses. Having incentives, remember we had a guest a few weeks ago where he owned a trucking company, or not trucking company, like a non-medical ground transport, and he would give out incentives for good driving record. Things like that add up. All right, what else do we have? So second would be measure engagement among your workforce. Keep eye on your people pretty much. Have one-on-ones with them. Get their input. Get them engaged with your company, because that brings a lot of buy-in. Surveys show employees really love that when you engage them and you ask input from them. You ask, it makes them feel part of your business. And then when you have a success, you share it with them, and they really love that they're part of that success of yours. Number three, keep an eye out for disengagement. So when you have people, for example, that are there's a dip in their productivity or increase in absenteeism, maybe the sudden lack of enthusiasm or frequent breaks, maybe it's time to re-engage them and find out, hey, is there something going on with you? You know, what's going on with your life? Maybe I can help. Maybe they're just going through some tough times and they just need somebody to be there for them. And it could be other things. If they are looking for something else, at least you know, and you can prepare yourself also for to look for the replacement. Avoid common reasons for disengagement. So here are some of the things that when they did a survey, how employees feel that there's a lack of disengagement. So lack of employee development is number one. You know, so it's easy for employees to start feeling, I'm not going to go anywhere if you don't really invest in their future, right? Lack of workforce balance. That's a terrible thing, of course. Nowadays, it's so important, especially with the rise in mental health issues. You want workforce balance. Lack of career trajectory. Again, being able to move up in the company. Because, of course, everybody wants to be able to progress, too. Poor inter-office relationships. So really creating a synergy, you know, in your workplace that's very conducive to working. Having the right people mesh, being able to understand each other, you know, what everyone's priorities are. It's very important in different generations, for example, to have harmony between them. And then, of course, low wages, you know, especially with everything going up now. They want to be able to work in a place that will allow them, of course, to be able to pay their bills. So those are some of the things, and then maybe even creating fun incentives and or creative incentives. Like I said, like the bonuses for good driving records, or you know, if you look at companies such as Zappos, I know this is a big company, but maybe you can adapt some of those traits in your company where they allow their people to rest. They allow them to have fun at work, to be creative at work. Those are all fun things that will really help you keep your employees. So hopefully that helps. I know it's a real issue right now. So hang in there. There's a lot of different state agencies. A lot of business leaders are trying to develop programs to help with the workforce. All right, so let's take our quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring our guest in tonight, which is SBDC, one of the coolest resource partners that we have. So let's take a quick break.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Welcome back. So tonight I am joined by Carlos Mejia Castillo. He is the lead business advisor for SBDC. He is my go-to guy for any kind of licensing issues or any advice small business people need. He is one of the top reps for SBDC, which is the Small Business Development Council. Carlos, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation, Sonny.
All right. Well, Carlos, let's start with this. Please tell us, who is SBDC? How long has SBDC been helping small businesses, and what are their primary duties?
Yeah, so the SBDC, that's how we commonly know it in a world full of acronyms, as you are well aware, right? But the SBDC stands for the Small Business Development Center, and in this instance, we're talking about the Nevada Small Business Development Center. I want to echo what you said, because this is definitely a unique resource. We are part of a much larger initiative that's called America's Small Business Development Center. The SBDCs are found in every single state. Usually there's a common denominator between the colleges and universities in the region. Usually there's a partnership between the the SBA, the Small Business Administration, that's the federal agency that we belong to, and the colleges and universities. For us, that happens to be true. Here we have both of our SBDC hubs in Southern Nevada and Northern Nevada are housed within, in Southern Nevada, UNLV, and in Northern Nevada, in UNR. And what we do in a nutshell is we provide technical assistance, guidance, and mentorship to the entrepreneurial and small business community across the valley and across the state. And we help out at every single stage, from startup to growth to exiting a business successfully and everything in between.
To my audience, I gotta tell you that their hub here, Blackfire, what they call it, it's on over by near IKEA. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. Some of the things that they do there. I just went to one of their events the other week, and they had things like biodegradable sheets, robots that follow you. It's unbelievable. And then, of course, I got to visit their hub up in UNR on Tuesday. Another great place. So congratulations. Now, before we talk more about SBDC, my audience too would like to know about you. Tell us about yourself. What made you join SBDC? When did you realize that this is something that you want to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been with SBDC. It's going to be close to 4 years now. My relationship with SBDC started when I was studying at UNLV. When I was actually doing my undergrad, I actually applied to be an intern. And I was selected. So I joined the SBDC team as an intern. My degree, what I ended up graduating in, was in business administration. My concentration was economics. So, we hear this saying all the time: small businesses are the backbone of our local and national economy. And I felt like with everything that I was learning in school, I kind of wanted to see the micro perspective. In school, you get taught the macro perspective. You get talk about the major corporations, the big casinos and whatnot. But I felt like this was an opportunity to be able to help and truly understand, how the small businesses contribute and factor into the economy. And so that's how I joined the SBDC. Then when I was getting close to graduating from UNLV, there was an opportunity to join the team full time. So I went ahead and, submitted my application. I went through some pretty intense rounds of interviews, but at the end of the day, I made it. And then fast forward about 8-9 months or so, after joining as a full-time advisor, there was an opportunity to start a cool initiative with the city of North Las Vegas called the Small Business Connector. And I was tasked to go and lead that project. So then that's where I became the lead advisor for the SBDC.
I heard so many good things about that North Las Vegas Connector. So congratulations on that. And I'm so glad that you joined. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that you're an economics major. Carlos, when my kids went to high school here, I was so surprised that they didn't teach microeconomics.
Yeah.
I was so upset. I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, I always, it's kind of funny that you bring that up, because I, being an immigrant, I had this personal question that I wanted to answer, which I feel like the immigrant community kind of has this question as a whole, which is, why did we migrate? In this particular instance, it was, why did my family migrate over to, the U.S.? And also, I factor in the fact that I like math. So, you get a formula of both of those things, and that's how I ended up being an economics major. But to your point, I was actually surprised, because a lot of my classmates that were taking the same classes that I was, that were coming in from different states, they were a little bit ahead of me, because they were, getting some of these concepts in high school. And for me, that was the first time that I was ever introduced to them.
See, I'm hearing that from you. Somebody who went through school here. See, there you go. Anyway, sorry. Math, huh? Wow. Okay. You know how many people hate math?
Oh yeah.
It's good. It's a good thing. All right. So for our audience to better understand, can you please give us examples of the programs that SBDC has and how does it help small businesses?
Oh, absolutely. We help out our clients in numerous ways. You know, we don't just offer the one-on-one services, the one-on-one coaching. That's definitely what a lot of people, a lot of our clients, the community seek us for that one-on-one. But we also understand that, you know, if someone is coming to us at an early stage, they just have an idea, and we want to get to a point of determining whether or not that idea is feasible. We also offer classes. So if we were to break down our services into maybe 3 different silos, it would be the one-on-one coaching, it would be classes that we provide to the community on various topics, and then it would also be some of the networking events that either we host or that we're a part of, because that allows us to be talking, communicating one-on-one with the clients. We're also able to do, you know, group setting in the classes and the workshops, and then bring them together. We try to emphasize the importance of networking and being surrounded with like-minded people. So I feel like that would be the 3 different silos that we provide to the community.
You know, I really have to give a shout out to SBDC because you guys have been so proactive. Just for my audience to know, so for example, in the Asian community, a lot of people want to get into the medical industry, and sometimes it could be so hard. And so I went to SBDC, asked for help, and they created like medical practice in a box, something like that, where you have a checklist of everything that you do that's needed to be able to open up a medical practice. So kudos to you guys. Tell me, what are some of the circumstances? Just give us an example of where a small business owner should be calling SBDC for help.
Sure. I mean, the great majority of the people that we see are people that are first-time entrepreneurs. You know, they have an idea, and they want to execute on that idea and you know, establish a business. To those people, we have to come to an understanding that there's some missing steps in between, right? So we're strategically planning with them. We're helping them create a business plan. So to those people, you know, even the first-time entrepreneurs, first-time business owners, we definitely still cater to them. But we also cater to the already existing businesses that are trying to take their business up to the next level, right? A lot of, during the pandemic, the main word that we were hearing, Sonny, you would know this, is, you know, you were in banking, pivoting, right? I mean, you have to pivot. And so sometimes, in the most simplest way that I can explain it, what we can offer to our clients, it's an outsider's perspective, and it's the same perspective that their customers would view them as. And so then that allows us to bring in different ideas, think outside the box, you know, and present it to them, and come to an understanding of which decision would be the best one for them to take on. So we definitely work with those, and then of course those that want to let go of their business, whether that's selling it or passing it along to a family member, we definitely can speak to those people as well.
No, it's funny you say that pivoting. It's amazing to see how innovative a small business owner can be. We had one member from the chamber that I was before who did a lot of tourism work for CES goers, or for convention goers. They became distributor for PPE. I mean, you just find different things to do, right? Anyway, so tell us, walk us through the process of somebody signing up and then they finish? Or do they really finish? Or can they keep on calling SBDC for help?
Yeah, no. So our services, this is something that I didn't mention, but it is worth noting. Our services are at no cost and confidential. So we do not charge for our services. I always like to say our clients don't pay us with money, they pay us with information. There's certain information that is important to us. So when someone is interested in becoming a client, they would visit our website, which is Nevada SBDC.org, Nevada spelled out completely. And as soon as they go into the landing page, they will see a bright red request counseling button. You won't miss it. We made it bright red for a reason. And then it would take them to another page where they can sign up as a new client. There's 6 steps that they complete. We're just trying to get information, contact information, what type of business idea or business do they have, and what stage they're in. That allows us to be able to connect them to an appropriate advisor. All of our advisors have different, specialties, and so we want to ensure that, from the moment that they're talking to an advisor, that our client is getting the most out of it. So that's where our intake process is, detailed in that sense. A client will also get the opportunity to select which office they want to get service out of. We have offices across the valley. It's not just our main hubs. We have that North Las Vegas office in the City Hall. We have offices in the Chambers of Commerce. So they can choose which office they want to get help out of. And then that ensures that we're giving that flexibility and convenience to them. Once they've registered, then they get assigned an advisor. If they've been referred to someone, they can put in a name, and then our intake team will make sure that they get assigned, that request gets assigned to that advisor. But once they're in our system, they're in. We don't go away until they tell us, our clients tell us that they don't need us anymore. And we definitely, we want to get to that point. I've gotten to the point where clients, they're like, Carlos, listen, I appreciate everything that you did. I'm good right now. And I'm like, hey, whenever you need me again, I'm a phone call or email away. And, when that time comes, they definitely do call and reach out. So, the biggest thing is just getting into our system, because then afterwards, we're going to be notifying you of, what we're doing, what classes we're offering, what events we're a part of. So you're definitely joining a unique network where you can be in the know of what's happening.
I can attest to that. I still call you all the time. Hey, I do have a question. So because sometimes we get clients and I talk to them about SBDC, and they think because you're in that beautiful black fireplace, I have to be a tech company to be part of that. Are you just a tech company, or we can do any industry pretty much?
We can do any industry that is seen in good light by the federal government, so we stay away from those, sin industries, if you will. But you by no means have to be a tech company. That's funny that you say that, Sonny, because we go by the SBA definition of what a small business is, and that definition is less than 500 employees, less than $50 million in revenue. So when we look at that definition, there's a lot of businesses, there's a lot of big companies that we wouldn't consider a small business that fall into that. And we definitely cater to all spectrums. I mean, from the mom and pops all the way down to, I have innovative idea and I want to, patent it and then try to commercialize it. We definitely have people that have that specialty and can provide the advice to move those concepts forward.
Fantastic. Thank you for answering that. It really clears up a lot of questions for a lot of our audience. All right, last question. What is your best advice for small business owners?
My best advice is to get informed. I always like to say that Definitely a hidden gem. If I had to describe the SBDC, I'd say we're a hidden gem. But being a hidden gem is not a good thing. You know, that's why we're out. That's why we really appreciate these invitations, because it allows us to go out into different communities and inform them about the unique resources that are out here. And, you know, of course, it's not just the SBDC. There are other resources out there. We are a part of a small business ecosystem, and there are things that we are really good at, and there are other things that our resource partners are really good at as well. So we try to work together and in order to best serve our clients' needs. So definitely, you know, the advice would be get informed, you know, do the research, reach out to us, because if it's not us that can help you, we'll definitely be able to connect you to the next best resource too.
That's great advice. That's one of the reasons why we have this resource month. Get to know your resources, because it's true. And it's so true, especially in the minority community. They don't know what's available out there for them, and there's a lot. But anyway, Carlos, I truly appreciate you coming to the show. I want to thank you for the SBDC and all the work that you do. And thank you for always answering my call.
No, absolutely. You know, like I tell everyone, I'm always a phone call or email away. So, you know, anything that I can be of service to, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. That is our show for tonight. I hope the audience really enjoyed that. And SBDC, please check them out. If you need help with your small business, if you're starting a small business, call SBDC, log into SBDCNevada.com. Is that right, Carlos?
It's NevadaSBDC.org.
Got it backwards. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye, Carlos.
Bye.